fantasyfocus.com production.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 144 of Talking Tottenham. We're live here on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter at TTPodCoys. Danny Shakes.
What do you got there?
If that's on the crisp taste of a nice tangerine, or as we call them in the biz, tangies, I don't know what else is, my man. 4-0 win, 8-1 aggregate. Moving on, Pellet Boys never stood a chance. We were basically the smoker that smoked the hell out of those pellets. Probably put some nice lollipop lamb chops on there. What else can your bougie ass bring to the forefront there on the grill?
Bucks, I swear on my children's life, for lunch today I had lamb chops.
I figured that. Lollipop or?
They were like the lollipop. Like I started out knife and fork, but then just by the end of it, they were so delicious. I was just right in this business lunch, just like gnawing at them like they were friggin' popsicles.
Yeah. Who doesn't eat a lollipop like a popsicle by the end of it? You always start, you think you're going to be sophisticated eating that thing with a fork and knife. And then because they're so small and they're very dainty, but they're a delicious cut. It's funny after you eat like one or two of them, but you're making them for a group of people. You get that lollipop lamb stick going and all of a sudden you're at the grill and you're just gnawing down on them.
I'll tell you what, I love lamb. It's something that I can prepare it okay, but never like a good restaurant. Like there's a joint that we go to, business lunches, that does lamb pretty well, and I just can't duplicate it. It's one of those things.
I got a buddy of mine who has like a Argentinian style smoker or grill that he has. So it's not enclosed. It's basically just like a wire rack over just a bed of coals that he sits there and like turns to shake the coals up.
To do like whole pigs and shit? Like what's he do?
I mean, he probably could. He's one of the most skilled grillsmen I've ever met in my life. But he has that lollipop lamb action. You know who probably loves lollipop lamb shakes?
Who?
Jose. He's back. Hard J. Yeah.
No longer Jose to you. It's just
no. I'm actually
Wolfsburger.
This is a big facade. I'm still Jose out.
Okay, you're still Jose out. I'm still stay with Jose.
I think that Deli loves a nice little lollipop action. You know, Steely Vin loves a lollipop action.
Yeah, he's Brazilian.
Gareth Bale, being Welsh, probably loves the lollipop lamb action. These guys were good. So I know it was a weekday match, and you know it's a lot easier, I think, when these matches kick off at 3:00. To kind of situate your day, but when they land smack dab at noon, I think that's like a first timer as far as I can remember, that it was just smack dab in the middle of the workday. You're trying to wrap stuff up and then you're trying to make sure that you have the ability to watch the game. I was lucky enough to have a very shortened meeting that started at 11:45 and was supposed to go to 12:30. So I got in there pretty early by the time Deli scored the wonder goal.
That's better than me, Bucks, because I had my work lunch and then just had a hell of a day at the office. So still checking work emails right now. So if you see my eyes going this way onto my other monitor, I'm not looking at the summary page. I'm not looking at possession stats. I'm just checking emails.
Okay, so if I hear the Outlook go off, we need to make a wager.
Okay. I mean, I think I muted it, but I might not have. I'm not sure.
That's always the game we play. It's a
no one's
game.
replying back to me. It's pretty late now.
Well, you try working with the West Coast and New Zealand, Australia.
Where do you stand on sending emails after work? Like I'm a serial emailer at all times. And I feel like the people that work with me, they understand. It's like, you know, if I sent this at 9:00 at night, I understand it's not going to be discussed until the next morning. It's just me sending something so I almost don't forget about it the next day.
So I have a simple rule. I categorize and I prioritize based on what comes in after hours. I am never going to be the instigator after hours. We're in different positions. I'm not on the sales side of things. I'm more so the guy who makes sure that you have a job, and I do my job damn well. So when it comes to it, So when it comes to it, you categorize it. There's one way you can find your way to the bottom of next day's agenda. It's that high importance red flag. Just don't hit me with high importance. But we're talking about high importance shakes. We're talking about Deli. Ooh, we saw glimpses of Deli today. We saw glimpses of Deli that I didn't think we would see for maybe ever again in a Spurs shirt. And I understand it's whack Pellet Boys. I like how they've evolved from RZ Pellet Boys to just whack Pellet Boys. It's almost like I'm trying to diss on them, but I'm not. I respect them wholly. They had great kits, and I think they gave it their all out there. Probably biggest matches they ever played. But Dele Alli took them and just spun them up like a pretzel, deep fried it. Didn't even oven bake it, just deep fried the pretzel.
Just stuck it dough and all right in there?
Well, yeah, that's what a pretzel is, Shakes. It's dough. But how about Dele? I mean, I'm assuming that you were able to watch the highlights.
I did get a condensed match. Yeah, I watched highlights, but then also watched like the thing on like quintuple speed bucks. And yeah, I liked what I saw. Again, though, I took it all, under the lens that we got Wolfsburger here, not a mediocre to good Premier League team. So we'll have to see. I mean, Spurs got Burnley on deck and then a Crystal Palace match, but eventually looms Arsenal. So if Dele starts getting some meaningful minutes in this Burnley game or in Crystal Palace or wherever else Jose wants to try to fit him in, even as a sub, if he's not starting next match, I mean, maybe you will start seeing him play against Arsenal, or I think after that, Spurs' next big match is Man U, but that's not till April. So Spurs got this nice little run here. You might see Dele coming in these lesser matches, and you hate this the way I'm presenting this.
The reason I'm smiling because this just shows who you are and who I am at the core.
I want Dele to succeed. Stop it. It's just I'm the realist over here.
No. Take anything you've said previously about Dele aside. Take anything I've said about Dele previously aside. Let's talk about this based on how I'm trying to jump into this and how you're trying to jump into this. I come in, I'm telling you, Dele was just unbelievable in this match, recognizing RZ Pellet Boys, but accepting the fact that I want to live in that 90 minutes of football that I watched. That's what I want to live in for right now. We can get to your stuff, the boring stuff. You always have the accountant stuff way at the back of the line. You want to get to the marketing, the flash, the glitz, the glam. That's what we do here at Talking Tottenham. Okay. What we're not going to do is what you're trying to make me do, which is you cast aside the fact that it was an unbelievable performance with elements of his flash, his skill, his technique that we haven't seen now in the better part of 2 years. And he comes fully back, regardless of opponent. What he did today was some of the finest football in terms of technique and in terms of mentality. And I'll break down both goals. I watched them so many times. The first 2 goals took my breath away for different reasons. And I guess that's why I'm probably so fired up. And then you come on to my show, Danny, our show. I need to
check yourself, Bucks. My check cleared. My check cleared this month.
It always clears.
I'm still paying for the YouTube channel and the StreamYard.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I might need to send you an extra Venmo request. How about that?
Uh-oh. Did I forget?
No, but then you jump into immediately, well, maybe we can build on this. I think we have enough now to say that at least 95% back. I said 75% on the last podcast. That he showed me he was 95% of the way back. So I don't want to talk about anything outside of this match for right now because it'll get interesting, I think, when we discuss lineups and answer some listener questions. But that goal, that first goal, Nate Keller giving us flashes of that Palace goal without a doubt. And the more I watch it, the more I'm impressed by this goal today against Wolfsburger.
I thought it was better than Giroud's goal the day before.
I think it was too.
I know that was the instant comparison because where I will agree with the Dele comeback, I guess along with you Bucks, is it does seem like he's playing far more confident and he's got that like brash Dele, almost over the top confidence. Like I'm going to drill this thing into the ground and then do a bicycle kick and label it. Cause that was like completely meant by him. Like, whereas the Giroud one, I think it was just, he more reacted to it. Dele like literally collected the ball, brought it to the ground and then knew to do that turn and then the right footed bicycle kick. So I don't think Dele attempts that, I don't know, 6 months ago, 6 weeks ago, maybe like 3 weeks ago. So that definitely showed me something. Whether that was because he was just playing Wolfsburger, I'm not sure. I mean, that one guy that came in for Wolfsburger at the end, Like he looked like us out there. Like he was pretty overweight. And yeah, this pod does live on. Spurs did not lose 4-0. Instead, they won 4-0. So that was good to see that we're still here.
Don't thank us, Eugene. Thank Delhi.
Yeah, thank Delhi. And, just the team for getting off the bus today.
It's thank God they got off that bus
and
went into the
I
stadium.
feel bad. I'm
chase.
disrespecting Wolfsburger too much. Your Pellet Boys.
There was no bus. The fellas just drove their cars to the stadium, man. No, it's just you immediately shift into this mode instead of appreciating it. And that's who you and I are as different guys. And I think that's why we work
You're
well
in the
together.
moment, alternate reality guy. I like it.
I sit here and I want to bask in that feeling of watching that happen and my jaw just hitting the deck. And then immediately I pulled up the Crystal Palace goal and there were so many parallels to it. And the fact that this guy hasn't shown that in probably year and a half, 2 years, and he comes out there, first off, the setup pass to Doherty was spot on. And then finding and sitting in that gap while you had Lamela also pushing it upfield, kind of drawing the defender just far enough away. And Delhi just sensing all that. His trap and spike on that ball, the technique was out of this world. It was just that's not the buildup on that was fantastic too.
Yeah, no, it was an unsung great pass by him.
Well, no, I'm talking about
on the flank.
Well, before that, you had Lamela just slicing through guys, getting just jab shot at his abdomen through the middle of the pitch, right into the middle of the box. And then he cuts out to Bergwijn, who makes a smart decision to kind of see what he had there. If he had a chance at a shot on net, didn't have it, immediately got it out to Delhi. Delhi spotting Doherty, curling it over. It had a nice bend on it, set Doherty up to have his head up and going towards the net. At that point, Delhi just sat in space, and that kick down with the ball up, you knew exactly what he was doing the minute that you saw him kind of do that trap spike on it. I don't even know what to call that. Does anyone know what to call that that's like tuning in right now? I'm calling it the trap spike.
His trap pile driver, send it straight down, back up.
Touch was wild, and it was perfectly set up for him. And then you saw that bicycle kick, and you were just like, that's going in for the minute I saw it, just because of how confident he was in that move. Even the defender was kind of trying to charge him a little bit. He's just like, oh, God, this guy's going in. He's going in. We got Delhi going in, Shakes.
Can we agree, though, that could have turned out real embarrassing? Like he does that, wheels around and just bicycle kicks it into the third row.
No, because
he labeled it. It was amazing.
Yeah,
but I'm just saying, it was just so
upper left 90, name of Buck's future sports
so ostentatious
bar.
Bucks.
Very ostentatious. An ostentatious challenge.
Quite speculative.
Jerry McNeil, can we say Delhi over 75%?
I love the percentage game that you play. I'm getting texts from you while at the office. 92%. I'm like, oh, he did something.
And then I went up to 92.75 at one point as well. Yeah.
Grading on a curve, that's for certain.
Maybe that's the next. I think
that might be good things. I thought his pass was better than its goal. Is that crazy? So setting up the second goal?
I just want to know from you, do you think that was his second best goal he's ever scored for Spurs in terms of technique, skill, all that? Not moment-wise.
Yeah, not moment or importance, right?
Correct.
The Man U one was pretty sweet last year at Old Trafford. Yeah. And obviously came against Manchester United, not Wolfsburger. As far as wow factor, that's probably the second to Crystal Palace. I'm going to go with that.
I think just when I see it in slow-mo from the right angle, though, it gets my pants moving in a different way than the other one does. The other one was that sidewinder flick, but the over the top over his head sidewinder into it. That's another way it kind of shifts right. And then this one made it shift left a little bit, but either way, it was a shift moment.
Zach Angelos agrees with me. Man U.
The Man U goal is impressive just because at that point, Delhi did not give one shit. He was so nonchalant with that flick. Perfectly.
End of the half, too.
Yeah.
Spurs still lost that match, though.
I'm not sorry. I still am more impressed by this. I think this is
this one. I think I am too. This one had more of a wow factor because I just didn't expect it. Just 10th minute in, just pulls a stunt like that. But
exactly.
I mean, look, yeah, that was the wow factor goal. But I just thought seeing that type of diagonal cross, where he's able to pick out a player on the other side of the pitch, for, like a far side post goal. That when he picked out Vin,
Steely.
yeah, who buried that, and he went to the Kane school of heading the ball down into the ground, so the keeper can't really make a play on it, and making sure you're not going to sail it over the net. Love that part too, but that's like the creativity that you don't see from Spurs in the final third, unless somehow Ndombele found himself over there. With Lo Celso out, with all due respect to our boys Lucas, Steve, Lamella, I think Gareth Bale now, just recently, this is all kind of changing, so maybe he could try something like this, but you just weren't seeing it out of those other guys, that type of pass. And to me, that's where, if he could make a difference for Spurs, I'm not sure if he's setting the world on fire with goals. That's still Son and Kane's job. But if he can find those two guys by being creative in that final third, that's where maybe he might have a home in some sort of iteration of a Jose starting 11.
So I want to talk about that goal because I talked about the technicality on the first one. You talked about it last week. His observationals, he has that skill deeply inherent within him where he kind of sees the pitch and the moving chest parts a little
anticipation.
bit. Anticipation and feeling it out. So if you watch that goal again, I watched it way too many times to count. It's almost embarrassing. I even slowed it down. You see him kind of hesitate when he first picked up the ball in that possession. And at that point, he was observing the movement of the back line. And Vin was creeping into position slowly, just kind of like a python in the night. Just python creeping through the long grass. You don't know where he's at. That's what he was doing. And Dele at that point decides, all right, let's just see what the defense does now when I just put the ball forward. I can't remember if it was Steve or if it was Davis, but regardless, the minute that he moved that ball forward to the corner, the entire defensive back line shifts back, and the man that should have marked Vin took just 2 steps forward. And at that point, Vin sensed it as well, but Dele was watching that at the point that you had the ball with the other man in the corner. Dele sees all this happening immediately. One touch, just absolutely labels the cross in. And it was because he just saw that movement and trusted the fact that I'm going to pass it here. They'll shift back. I'm going to just track Vin. And if he has the run, I'm putting it on him the minute I get that ball, really the second I get that ball. And it just reminded me so much of the passes that we would see from Christian Eriksen going Dele's way on similar runs. And it was awesome. I was almost more impressed with that than the goal, believe it or not. I thought the whole build up on that play.
That was my take. You can't steal my take like that.
We can't share takes.
It did have like that slight little curl, that little whip on it to go diagonal. It had that nice little arc to get over that final defender, like you said. And again, I just go back to that, like just Son, Kane, even. I don't know if they make that type of pass, or at least they have those instincts to make that type of pass. Kane probably does, but I always think Kane is like, I don't know, like drilling passes or like the bang, bang, turn and kick. Like, whereas Dele, like, for whatever reason, can finesse it. It seems like a little bit different. I don't know. It just felt, though, like I don't see that currently on the squad when Dele's not in the lineup. So that could be the argument to get him in, is if you do want that more, creative winger out there, or if he's going to be playing as a false, or if he's just a straight up 10, whatever. I mean, I guess I am going to try to talk myself into the Dele experience going forward, Bucks. I just might be.
I knew you'd see it my way, Shakes. I always knew it.
I don't know, though. He did play what? Did he knock out 80 minutes or so?
Yeah, about 81 minutes, I believe he was subbed out.
Let's see here.
Yeah, 81.
Yeah, 81st minute. So tough to think then he does do that quick turnaround against Burnley. But
no, I don't think it's tough because he's feeling it. And he's 24 years old. I think, look, you can wipe.
He's a young lad.
He is.
I like that take. Yeah.
Yeah. Although his back might be hurting after that bicycle kick a little bit and holding the team on it all day.
Maybe it's the Fulham match that you see him start. Something like that.
I think
there's Fulham, then Crystal Palace.
I'll explain my reasoning behind why he starts, and he does start for Burnley. We will get there. We can't talk about all good. We got to talk about a first half occurrence here that was kind of ridiculous. Or I guess it would have been the start of the second half with Eric Dyer. Eric Dyer should have got a nice little penalty called on him there. I mean, this
Yeah,
This
that's
is
called on
just
him in the Prem, right?
oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, just all day.
Mike Dean is coming over doing somersaults at him at that point.
Yeah, he might give him a red.
Mike Dean would probably read him right there. Clear
pass
goal
foul.
scoring
Yeah.
opportunity. Yeah. They teach him how to Dougie a little bit with it.
Jeez.
Oh man. But that
no,
was
that
bad. So it wasn't all pretty. I mean, I think, everything I said last podcast, it's easy to be really high when things are good for one match. And I think that just shows, I think everybody in the comments talking about sweet taste of victory, just cracking game tonight, best of Delhi I've seen in a long, long time. Everybody's excited. You get something like that, and it's just as cathartic as just ranting after a West Ham match that pissed you off to no end. But you have to at some point realize that the same things I was complaining about then are very apparent as we move forward, especially on the weekend matches. So with the back line, I mean, I think it's fair to say with Dyer starting this one, we will not see Eric Dyer. But with Toby starting this one, I ask you this. What's the pairing for Sunday against Burnley?
Well, before I answer that, when you see Dyer versus Toby, I think it was clear Toby outplayed Dyer today, right? Who do you think outplayed on the fullback side? Like, I actually thought Doherty was better than Davis today.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No.
I thought Doherty, knew to come up at certain times, and he was playing far more confident because, again, this is Wolfsburger, with all due respect to them. I don't know. He seemed to know when to float up a little bit more, and he could make some more driving runs, and then also he's a smarter crosser of the ball, it seems like sometimes. He knows to, pull it back a little bit more. Look, I'm still saying Tanganga gets the start, but Doherty, thankfully, didn't have a terrible game.
I don't think he had a terrible game. He had an assist. Yeah. So
you just think Ben
might have been
solid?
the easiest assist that I've ever seen.
Maybe I set the bar so low for myself that just when he exceeds that, I'm like, look at the game by Doherty.
Sure.
Anyway,
that's valid. He did enough for us to win this match, and he contributed on the attack side. So there's nothing wrong with that. And I don't want to discount his efforts. I didn't see him crossing the ball well. I didn't think he was sharp defensively. He's a little bit better, but he's playing against third graders when he's in seventh grade at that point.
Very true. To answer your question, though, I have Toby and Joe written down. I do not think we're going to get the Joe Dave experience. That seems pretty crazy.
Could we possibly get Tanganga in the center?
Anything's possible.
If Serge is healthy, I'm just saying, I wouldn't mind it. Like I said, Tanganga, Joe, just feeling each other out on the fly against Burnley.
That doesn't seem like where you try that out.
I don't know, though, and here's why. So Tanganga isn't a really big guy, but I think he plays stronger than he looks. And because he's so sound defensively position-wise, I wouldn't mind him. Joe is a menacing guy. Joe can hold up against a nice Burnley front line that just batters you to hell and back and really makes you sack up as you go down there. What better than to have Joe in the sack on a nice adventure together? It's like Huckleberry and Finn.
Well, the reason you might see Dave is just because if Spurs are going to have possession and Burnley parks the bus, you're going to want to push your center backs way, way up there. So if that's the case, maybe Jose does think I want Dave's speed, and Dave is better at intercepting those balls and really challenging right up front. Where Dave has problems is when he's either tracking back apparently and the ball's in the air, or just if he's in possession deeper and needs to make a decision very quickly, and then that becomes a problem.
That's what Burnley.
But that's like half the team. That's like Dyer.
That's what Burnley does, though. Burnley wants to push it with aerial balls up the middle and have holding play from the striker position where they batter their man to hell and back, and then they have another big guy on the other end of a cross.
I just think Jose will think more about winning back possession higher up the pitch against Burnley, which is why he might consider Dave. I still have Joe Toby.
I would much prefer to have Toby in there than anybody else.
I think for that reason, if that's how Jose wants to play, kind of like a higher risk pinching up defense, I doubt he would then just start Tanganga right there for that.
I think Tanganga is up for any challenge you give him.
I know. He's your boy. I think
he's becoming like my main guy, by the way.
I know. I can tell now that Sissoko's gone. Even though your boy Sissoko, I thought had another good, again, everyone looked good today, right?
Yeah. I mean, pretty much, except the guy you said looked really good.
You don't know what you're watching, Bucks.
I might not, to tell you the truth.
Even though I'm the one that like was watching it on speed and just picking out a couple things.
I've been doing like self eye
But
tests, by the way, because
yeah,
I'm getting worried about my eyesight. And it used to be my left eye was a lot stronger than my right eye, but somehow over time, my right eye is the strong eye now. I don't really get it. I don't see eye doctors. I don't trust them. But maybe I'm not seeing the match the same way that you are due to my
this
eyesight.
could be true. That's weird how your eyes. We can ask some of our buddies. Ophthalmologist Drew. He might know why your eyes change in strength.
Yeah, I mean, rather not have to lean on the help,
Yeah, that's just I just went LASIK, man.
You did go LASIK. How's that turning out?
It's great. Wish I did it like years before.
So does that explain why your thoughts are very much a lot more put together than mine when it comes to Spurs?
Laser, focus, definitely, and your weak sauce vision.
Shit, my ever-changing weak sauce vision. I don't even know which eye to cover up during matches anymore.
your eye pairings like the center backs at Spurs. You don't know what eye's going to let you down.
I wear the Steve mask and an interchangeable eye patch.
Yeah,
every match.
Yeah, could be the right eye or left eye. One of them.
Hey man, maybe I'm seeing things spatially others aren't. Okay,
maybe.
Yeah, 1D vision, buddy.
4K TV lost on you.
Sometimes I feel like Jose is looking at 1D vision out there. So we'll get into who we think are going to start there. But I wanted to finish with a couple of cool things that happened at the end of this match. I think first is Bale coming in. I think it was the 68th minute, so he got a nice 22, 23-minute run. Looked impressive. Great run. Delhi spotting him out, and then one-time curling finish into the upper left 90. I mean, 2 upper left 90s in spectacular fashion in one game from one Delhi, from one Bale. Whew, it's hard. You pinch me right now, Shakes, because shit, if you flash back to like, I don't know, September, October, we're all sitting here toting when Bale gets back full strength and Delhi's humming, and you have the Delhi, the Sun, the Kane, the Bale, and we're just rolling on kids. It's almost like
it might happen.
Shakes, this could really, we could really put it together. And man, that was a great finish. How did you feel about that one?
I mean, by far Delhi's easiest assist, right? He
Yeah,
just looked over and he's like, I'm picking out that guy. And back to Delhi's confidence, maybe that means we got a little bit more Bale confidence coming in after the last 3-4 matches, I'd say, Bucks. Not sure if he buries that earlier in the season, but it was just struck confidently. And it definitely had that air this game. And granted, again, we'll keep going back to the opponent, but it was like, oh, man, Rockstar Bale's showing up. Like, oh, Bale's going to get a run for 20 minutes. Like, look who it is. He's coming out. Then he just does some shit, works his magic, knocks in a goal. It just felt like Bale was gracing us with his presence this match, which is kind of what I thought it would be like. Maybe not right at the beginning, but a little bit sooner than now. But I like that. Like the aura of Bale seems to like be making its way back till I start seeing it against, again, better competition in the Premier League. It's kind of tough to just hang our hat against Wolfsberger, but I mean, I'll take it all day long when Bale's making those types of finishes.
Shakes will take it. I'll gloat about it.
You'll gloat about it. Yeah. You're just like,
that was unbelievable. What was
coming. No, it was just struck.
It's just a great strike.
He was wide open. Terrible defense.
Perfectly led ball from Delhi, though.
You
got to give the guy credit. Played a hell of a match. Involvement in 3 goals. Just a wonder goal as his one goal there. Delhi and Bale, they got it going. But then the main thing that I loved, getting 3 youngsters in there. You had Marcel Lavinier. You also had Niall John, which is, in my opinion, one of the coolest names that we have coming up from the Youth Academy. Niall John. If someone were to introduce themselves as Niall John to you, right, he would definitely have a nicer watch than you.
Mm-hmm.
Probably better teeth, probably better hair.
I got a Hamilton khaki today, Bucks.
All right, man. So Niall John would smoke that Hamilton khaki on you, and he would actually tell you to take that off and hand you his backup at that point.
Wouldn't it be cooler if he was the Niall John?
No.
The Niall John.
No. What do you mean, the Niall? No? Maybe he could grow into the Niall John and you just struck gold on something.
Like the Nile River. I don't know. Yeah,
or
I don't
just
know
like,
much about
I am the Damon John. I am the Niall John.
Yeah.
Like that guy
the
rules,
Ohio
State.
Though.
Sweet to see him come into the midfield And then I
I
think
like Scarlett.
the story of the match is Dane
Yeah.
Scarlett just coming in immediately. First off, what are you doing, Pellet Boys, on the back line there? You don't think your boy Scarlett's going to come hunting? He wants scalps. The guy wants to put one in the net for Spurs. That's what he wants.
Turns 17 March 24th. Just
Yeah,
wanted to look that
yeah,
up.
very young. Youngest, I guess Mbappe might have been a little younger, but second 16-year-old to get an assist in a Europa League game. Pretty damn cool.
Nice.
Shouldn't have really been an assist. I think that Steely Vin just old manned him right there.
He like poached him a little bit.
Yeah, I think he did. Because you saw Scarlett's face as Vin turns around and does his thing for the goal. And
Yeah.
Scarlett immediately had to turn it around because Vin went and put his arm around him. But I think for just a half second there, Scarlett was just, his youth was showing. And he's just like,
man,
what the fuck are you doing? Like, I just need to take one step with the ball and I'm blasting it to the right-hand side. But it was the smart play by Vin. It was a smart play by Vin. The goal was there for the take and it's on his left and he took it.
It's the striker's mentality. See ball, see net, put ball in net. So I get it. Even though Scarlett did the hard part by sneaking up. Like, what was that defender doing? Just like not paying attention whatsoever that some guy was just closing on him. But
the funny thing is he wasn't even being strategic with his movements. Like,
no, he wasn't like trying to shield him off or go the other way or, hoodwink him or pull him back. Like, it was just like he just forgot he was coming at him. He definitely made eye contact, turned around, and then just forgot he was still coming at him.
So it looked to me like when you're playing FIFA and like your phone rings and your keeper just rolls the ball out to your center back and you leave it for just a second, right? Your guy's just sitting there with the ball. Striker is head and he is bulling his way towards you. Great play by Scarlett. And I think he would have taken that chance if he had the opportunity before he got uncled by his uncle, Steely Vin.
Where do we stand on Vin's celebration?
Love it. I think.
Do you? You love it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's doing kind of like the tough guy, like WWE.
Under the armpits, but he does it like with his bows out. Sorry, I keep hitting my mic.
Well,
my mic wall.
It's not hard.
It's a very big ass mic. It has been noted by listeners. Although it's actually a sound wall around a mic, but yeah, it's to fit my big ass mouth, Bugs.
Hard to miss it with those elbow shakes.
Yeah, I flail the bows.
You do
careful
flail the bows. So that was good. My men of the match here. I had Deli as 1, Steely Vin as 2, and Bale as 3. Pretty simple.
I mean, Deli's number 1 by a lot. Yeah, I guess even though Bale didn't play the entire match, I kind of wanted to give it a little bit. Nah, I'm going to go to Sissoko and then Vin. I thought Sissoko was pretty good in the middle of the park. Kind of reminding Jose a little bit like, hey, I'm pretty good. I know Højbjerg and Ndombele are our top 2 on the 4-2-3-1 scale, but if you ever want to go back to a 4-3-3 or give Højbjerg a rest, like I am a suitable body that could come in and play here. It's not like Spurs didn't have success with an Ndombele-Sissoko pairing. So there is a rotation available, Jose. We don't have to just run the other 2 guys into the ground. With that said, it was nice to see Kane, Sonny, Reggie, Ndombele, Højbjerg, and Tanganga not have to play, right, Bucks?
It's great. It was good seeing these guys just get an absolute spell here. Take them out for a little
probably
bit.
know what to do themselves. Having a week of off for soccer.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
More rest the merrier because we have to get our act together here in the Prem. Let's get into some listener questions here. I think this is a good transition. We got Zach Angelos who's joining us here.
What's up, Zach?
Number 1 is Deli back. Oh, yeah. I'm thinking he's back, pal. I'm thinking he's way back. Shakes?
I've heard some people say like 90, 92%, Zach, and I'm still under that. I mean, this isn't like Deli 2016, 17 going into 18, but until I see a little bit more defensive ball out of him against a team that's going to be going the other way against Spurs, I can't call him all the way back.
He's back. Zach Angelos also has, can Steely Vin be used in any capacity other than Kane's backup?
So do we mean Kane's hurt and he just starts? Like, do we feel confident or just as a secondary striker? How am I supposed to read that question?
Zach, if you're joining us, you can clarify, but I read this as, is there a chance that we could get them both involved on a front line with 2 at the front?
I don't think you see that unless just Spurs are chasing a goal and it's 10 minutes to go and we have a sub still. Which Jose has done that. He's brought in Vin alongside Kane What was the game where Kane had that awesome header in the 89th minute and Spurs won 1-0 in the pouring rain? I can't remember if it was against West Brom. It was against a team that was lower table, but Vin came in that match as a secondary striker. But I don't think you'll ever see a lineup deployed with both of them at the same time. If Kane was out tomorrow, I actually do not think Vin starts in his place. I think Jose would play Sonny up top, and then you would see actually Deli or someone else come in over Vin, which probably defeats the purpose of getting the backup striker to begin with, except for maybe games like this. But I just don't think he just plugs in for Kane. I think Sonny would be up top.
Yeah, and also he mentions even on the wing. No, I definitely don't see him playing on the wing. But as far as the secondary striker, with the attacking options that we have, I'm not sure that we ever see it. I think he plays a distinct game from Kane. I think he's always kind of challenging the center backs in terms of positioning and really just trying to get into a position that we don't really even see Kane get into all that often anymore. Their play is just not even remotely similar, in my opinion.
Where it's interesting,
but couldn't that mean that could maybe work with both
right?
That's
I was just going to say that. Where it's interesting is if Kane's not basically ball hawking right in the 6-yard box, let's say, and he's playing back more and looking forward. Yeah,
like a number 10.
Vin could be a body that's more in the middle of the pitch as opposed to out wide, like Sonny or Steve or Del, whoever's going to be out wide, Bale. So that's interesting to think about, but I just think where we are in the season, the way Jose's deployed it, I don't think he starts sticking around with like a new idea that way. I just think at times maybe you might see them in together with 10 minutes to go because Vin got put in for a midfielder or a center back or something.
I have been impressed. I mean, we got another question here on Vin from Nate Keller. I mean, Steely Vin surely has to be kept beyond this season, right? I know there's been unreliable Danny Ings rumors. Please bring me Danny Ings. That's beyond the point. But Vinny has 11 goals. I only counted 9, Nate. So he might have contributed to 11. I know he's had at least 1 assist. So I'm going to roll with contributed. But, I mean, 9 goals is still 9 goals. And I understand that those goals are coming against these lower opposition. Yet FA Cup, where what did he score? 4 in 1 match against Marine, 3 or 4.
So that you almost got to pull that one aside.
No, I'm not pulling it aside. A goal is a goal, Shakes.
A goal is a goal, but it was against 8th, right? 8th table Marine.
7th table. 7th league.
He had 2 today. I don't know if that's the discrepancy between your 9 and 11, but I mean, I think you keep him. He's very, very raw. So the question though is he cool with just being a backup? Because that's what you are. You're backup to Harry Kane. And I don't think if Kane got hurt or injured or left, in the summer, knocking on wood, that's not something that's happening. I don't think he's just plugged in as now Spurs' new main guy. I don't think that happens. But if he's cool with his standing in the club, I think, Spurs should definitely do what they can to keep him, make that loan permanent, and try to figure out the contract with him.
Yeah, because when you look out there, you have Parrott, who, let's be honest, has not had successful loan stints at this point. You have Scarlett, who, in my opinion, needs to go out on loan. So we still have a need there for that backup striker. And I think if Vin is reasonable about the expectation there, I mean, he has had success here. He's scored for Spurs 9 times. I mean, he will get double-digit goals this season, and that's a big deal. That's 3 players maybe a year that reach that potential. And if anybody wants to dog him, does he seem out of sorts at times? Is he offsides a hell of a lot? Sure. But that tells me he's playing aggressive. I mean, he's trying to gain the advantage and he's trying to push us forward. He's the only thing on his mind, as evidenced by the fact that he just totally stole a goal from poor Dane Scarlett on that. The guy just cares about bagging the goals. So if you got a guy like that as your backup striker, I think we're in relatively good shape. And I would like to see him back. As Shakes, you said, he's still raw. So there's something to build on there. There's something to build on there.
He wasn't a center forward for more than 3 years? He was playing. No. Yeah. So, I mean, I can't remember. I need to learn up on this. You caught me flat-footed, Bucks. What's the buyout from Benfica?
I have no clue.
And then does that
You're the
mean
money guy, Shakes. Don't
I
ask me these
know, I know. I'm
questions.
embarrassed. I do
I
not
got a
know
heart and two
these details.
testicles. I got a heart and two balls.
And two barely functioning eyes.
It's true.
I think yes, you try to keep him. It's just I'd love to know contract terms. Are we signing him for like now 4 to 6 years? What's that number look like for your backup striker when you got other needs on the club? And then what's the option to buy cost? Is it something reasonable? So, I mean, there could also just be, if he's an asset, an option to buy is less. Yeah, you absolutely buy him no matter what. And then you just figure it out from there. You can always flip an asset if you think he does want more meaningful minutes elsewhere. But I mean, if he can be on the team next year, I'm on board with that. If that's really kind of where this question is going, is do you want Vin on the team next year? My answer is yes.
So, Nate, I'm of two minds right now. I give you a lot of credit because you are a very honest man, a stand-up guy. He read a tweet that said 11 goals, but he did no research into the validity of the tweet. That's a great guy. He just comes forward, lets us know, look, I'm shooting bullets on Twitter. That's what we got to do here. He's trying to stay ahead of the curve.
Keep blasting, Nate.
Respect it. That's different than what I had to do. I had to throw an eye patch on, hit Google, and I went through every single match of this season, putting together the 9 goals. Because it is hard as hell to get the full. If anybody that's watching this, if anybody has a link to what will have like valid every single match, including UEFA qualifiers, including early round FA Cup games, I have a hard time finding it. Like I always thought FB Ref would have all of that nicely consolidated so I could get like pure totals. It's hard for me to get pure totals. I had to go through the old Google and go match by match. So Nate, I'm telling you, we are all growing right now. You're admitting that you were trusting the Twitter. I personally never trusted Twitter. Love the people on Twitter. Don't always trust the tweets. That's how I feel about it. And you got to do that research. I did it. We're good. We're at a good spot here. But Nate's saying it's mid 40s, so I'm saying Nate, we need to validate it. Nate comes through and he validates it. 36 mil. Shakes is the buyout. Nate, wonderful job. That is on the spot reporting. That's that data diving, validity out the ass right now. Nate Keller, wonderful job.
See, I just read 45 million euro. Whatever. Let's say it's 36. Now we're talking that might be kind of high bucks.
I think it is high, yeah.
If that's truly the number,
he's young though. He is young.
Love what Vin has done for us, but I don't know if that would be he's 25 years old. Shit.
Yeah, Jose wants something a little bit more built in.
That's tough, man. I don't know. I don't think so. At 36 million, you're just going to spend that on other things and probably feel better about it.
Is it a 2-year loan though?
I thought it was 2021. He comes back. Let's see here. According to transfermarket.com, always state the source, June 30th, 2021. So, I mean, it was only a $3 million loan, right? Or pound loan.
Shit, so, if we get 12 goals out of him for $3 million, that's a great show.
It's good business that way, but yeah, it's tough to think that even if you executed the transfer at 36 million, I don't know if you're then able to like flip him for more than that bucks. I think you're still above market value for him.
I agree.
And that might not be true that he could be worth more than 36 million. It's just he's going to play behind Harry Kane. So I'm sure there's some thought put into that by Benfica when they came up with that number. It's like, really, what would he ever do? Unless, short of Kane getting hurt for a very long period of time and him just coming out and being gangbusters, really, they were always getting Vinicius back.
What do you think about if Arsenal defeats Benfica tomorrow and Benfica's out, no more Europa League revenue? Do you think they could cut a deal?
Where's Benfica in their own race next year?
I'm not an expert on the Portuguese league.
Neither are my Bucks, but according to this, they're 4th. So they're in the hunt.
Just saying.
It would have to be a renegotiation. For 19,
20 mil?
It would have to be a renegotiation. Yeah, there's no, and who knows what that situation looks like. I don't know what Benfica's got as far as like their riches at the striker position or anything like that. So this might just be it for our boy Vin. What a ride, though.
Yeah, Wolfgang Print, who's better than Levy to negotiate for a lower price? That's exactly right.
Yeah, sometimes though he can outthink himself and just let Danny Rose and Eriksson leave for nothing. So Not like just thinking of Levy as this world-class negotiator right now, Bucks. I'm just not.
Maybe all right.
Wolfgang, I'm sorry.
On the way out, I will admit I don't think he's that great at knowing when to cut ties.
No.
But bringing in
Yeah, you
and
think so?
capitalizing, I think he's done a pretty damn decent job. I mean, look at Højbjerg. Great deal of business. Look at Reguilon. Great business on Reguilon. Like,
Look at Doherty.
we got shafted on Doherty. Daniel,
Laughing
speak
to the
up
bank,
on that
Wolves. Yeah. Hey, he looked okay against Wolfsburger today.
Yeah. I love this question.
We'll always have Wolfsburger, Doherty.
I mean, I think we already answered this question, but I love this from Big Sam Mack coming to us from England, I imagine. How fucking sexy was Delhi's goal tonight? 4 exclamation points. Slightly drunk right now, but awesome game. Couldn't agree more, man. Second beer of the evening. I'm feeling great. Shakes, what are you cracking there? Fancy?
Fat tire for my fat tires, Bucks.
Okay, fair. I'm not a fat tire guy. Never have been.
I like fat tire more on draft. Have like 1 or 2. You can't like pound them. Fatties in a can though, it's kind of fun. They were a bigger deal, I feel like, a couple years ago. The allure's worn off now that there's a million different beers out there.
All right, here's a question for you.
Let's hear it.
2 older Hollywood absolute temptresses out there. Would you compare Delhi's goal as Kate Beckinsale in current standing or Jennifer Aniston in current standing?
So gut was just Jennifer Aniston right off the jump, and I don't know why. So now I have to kind of think it through. I'm going to go Jennifer Aniston. Why? Do you have a say on this?
I mean, Kate Beckinsale is, in my opinion, the most beautiful woman in the world. She's had my heart since I was like 9 years old, man.
You could argue if Delhi does get back into the swing of things, it's kind of like a comeback, like Jennifer Aniston, right? She kind of went away for a while, and then now she's back out there making some hits. Have that longevity run.
What hits?
Beckinsale's had it too.
What hits is she making? I mean, I'm talking about the woman that probably gave me my first erection here, and you're out here talking about Jennifer Aniston on a big comeback, and I don't see that.
You don't see that? You didn't think that one with Adam Sandler was any good? That like murder mystery one?
I did enjoy that.
That's really good.
But I'm one of the few that truly
you didn't like the breakup, Bucks?
I love the breakup.
That was good
mostly because Vince Vaughn, but she plays a diabolical ex in that one. Absolutely diabolical. Oh, Zach with a great one here. Delhi's goal is Sharon Stone and Basic Instinct.
Whoa. Leg cross and all?
Damn, Zach, we're getting sexual on this one, pal. Do you think Delhi was wearing boxers?
Yeah. Or briefs.
Well, then he wasn't Sharon Stone. In Zach's opinion, he was out there he was freewheeling. He was feeling the gusts.
What was like Scarlett Johansson's hottest movie?
Oh, without a doubt, Lost in Translation.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's good. I don't think about that for her for some reason.
Okay, I can see it. Yeah, Zach knows. Delhi was swinging wide open out there. Wide open, boys, from our guy Zach.
Just doing all sorts of shit with his legs.
I mean, that's true. He kind of was. Damn. I might need to slow that down a little bit. The one shot.
Scarlett Johansson's hotter than Kate Beckinsale, right?
Oh, Lord, no. But I'm a brunette guy. I only date, for the most part,
Scarlett Johansson can be brunette. She's been brunette at times.
I've always preferred brunettes.
I'm Scarlett over Kate. I think, I'm Scarlett.
2 different age ranges there, though. Far different. Isn't Scarlett Johansson our age? Kate Beckinsale's like 48 or 49.
I'm talking about their primes, okay? I'm not saying today, this moment.
Yeah. We transition from beautiful women to Delhi's goatee. Nathan Keller was still trying to get used to it. Clean shaven Delhi is the preference for Nate. Yeah, I agree. I have a hard time thinking about Delhi's goatee, in that I don't get to see it as often as I'd like on the pitch, which is where I get the most FaceTime out of him.
I hate it. He looks like I don't even know, like an old Western villain or something.
See, I feel he
Like
looks like
he painted it on with eyelash,
I think he
like
looks
eye
like
black.
Wario. He looks like Wario from Mario Kart.
Ooh, or Waluigi because he's a little taller.
Yeah, maybe.
Don't you think Waluigi might have been the laziest Mario character of all time? You create Wario, and then a year later you come up with Waluigi.
Waluigi was not really thought out. There was a lot of cocaine back in those Nintendo Studio days.
We're waiting for the next great Netflix documentary behind the scenes on like the creation of Mario 3, right? It was probably insane. Tons of drugs.
Oh my! I can't even imagine.
He's like, and then they turn into a raccoon, but the raccoon flies. Like, it's
and then Star Fox comes in there and just starts fucking them all up. Yeah, I think
there's got to be a lot to it.
I still think Kate Beckinsale over all that.
Yeah, I'm going Scarlett.
But I didn't even have Scarlett. I had Jennifer Aniston. You threw this way off. As
I scarecrowed you.
You scarecrowed the fuck shakes. You son of a bitch. And to our last comment here, Big White Hart Lane, as always, with wonderful, wonderful tones here. Deli pulling strings, Bale with the sweet strike, tidy performance against limited opposition, which doesn't tell us much. However, the youth got to go. Youth got a go. I kind of almost said got to go there. Dane looks like a talent. When and where will he get game time? He looks like a star in the making. What's your view on the young hero?
Do you think he's too young for a championship side to really want to take him on as a loan? And Spurs know that, meaning why loan him out if he's just going to ride the pine or not really get some meaningful minutes there? Like he's probably still 2 years away from getting loaned out. I mean, that's why Skip, I felt like they waited another year.
I don't know. I could see him in like the Eredivisie.
So, yeah, I guess that's true. If Spurs wanted to go a little bit more international, they could send him off.
Yeah, that's not far from home at all. It's right across the channel. Yeah. You go to Belgium or something. I do think the way that he gets constant playing time at this point, I'd be shocked if they send him out at age 17. I think
I think you keep him home. Spot
duty until he's 18 and then send him out for a year. You know, like I said, Eredivisie I think would be a good spot for him. Potentially he could go and try to succeed in the Bundesliga. I mean, we've seen a lot of younger guys go over to those lower level Bundesliga teams.
Yeah. Sam go to like Schalke or something.
Schalke picks up all the young guns. That's all they do.
It just feels too soon. It just feels like a year away though still.
I agree.
I think, but I you've talked me into it. I feel like championship ball is like, it's different. It seems like more like grinded out professional ball. Whereas you're right. If you go to Belgium, you go to like a Schalke over in Bundesliga, might be a little bit more free flowing ball where they want to put out a product out there. They want to put out like a fun product and they know they're putting some youth out there. Whereas in championship, you're grinding your ass out for like 40 plus matches to like try to get up a table. So they're not really experimenting with shit a ton.
So we got Wolfgang Print here. Jose said he'd be part of the first team next year. I think that might be one of those Jose things though, where he's technically already part of the first team this year, considering he's had two stints in match play. So
he'll be getting, I don't know, Carabao, Bang Energy looks on the substitution side.
But I agree. I think Wolfgang's right here in that he's going to have a little bit of a role here. I don't think it's going to be a big role.
It's tough. I mean, there's so many first teamers ahead of him, especially in like a forward position, because he's more of a natural left winger, or do you think he could play both sides?
I think he just plays across the front line, but I think he prefers playing striker.
Well, he's got a ways to go there. I mean, I think he would get some looks first if he was playing on the wing, but yeah, I mean, I could definitely see him getting some cup matches in next year, but it would be sparingly. It's not first team. If that's what Jose's saying, he's full of shit. It's like when Jose says like Reggie's hurt and then Reggie starts 2 days later.
I think he deserves it. The kid clearly has skills.
No, he does.
Got a knack for what he's doing out there. He's looked threatening every time he's been on the pitch for Spurs, and that is a big thing at his age. It means he just has that scent of a woman, scent of a net.
It sucks because the way the system is, Bucks. It's like you don't want to like completely hang your hat on getting him out there, but that's how you kind of see what he does against that type of competition. Otherwise, sure, he could look like he's the best like U23 or whatever kid all the time, but you don't know because of the competition he's going against. It's interesting to think about it because there's other times where like you loan him out and he just doesn't play, and that's the last thing you want.
Well, I think he'll definitely have a lot of run with the U23s.
For sure.
And I think he'll be a spot starter. Hopefully we're in Europa or the Champions League by that point. So
compared him to Rashford in the presser. Well,
he is a striker. I know that.
Yeah.
If he's compared to Rashford, I'm hell yeah. Let's play him a bunch. Let's get him in there now.
Play him everywhere.
So yeah. Thanks everybody for your questions. Let's move on. We got Burnley here. Fighting Sean Dyches on the weekend here, Sunday morning. So in their last 7 matches in the Prem, you got a 1-0 loss. I wrote something down here, but it's Man U. It looks like just a squiggly line. Man U 1-0 loss. West Ham 1-0 loss. Liverpool 1-0 win. Aston Villa 3-2 win. Chelsea 2-0 loss. City 2-0 loss. Brighton 1-1 draw. If that tells you anything, it's Sean Dyche. He's showing up to a bar fight. He wants it to get ugly. This is going to be low scoring, and I think this is going to end up in an ugly like 2-1, possibly 1-0 type scenario based on how these games have kind of played out for him.
I think you're right, Bucks. I mean, probably the greatest credit you could say is he dictates the style of play with that team, right? They're just going to go into their shell and they're going to try to beat you 1-0 or just get a point off of you. And he's just going to stare at you from the sideline and try to intimidate you, stare right through you with his 2 good eyes. I bet both of his eyes work well. With that said, I mean, they might have taken some punches in the day, but yeah, I think he could still run the dartboard.
Are you saying I haven't taken punches like Sean Dyche?
Not like Sean Dyche, no.
Okay.
And definitely not me. The punches that Sean Dyche have taken probably would have killed me 6 times over.
Yeah.
And they all happened like a month ago.
Have you ever been punched in the face?
I have been punched in the face.
Okay.
What about you?
Yeah, a lot. Let's just say I wasn't the nicest kid between the ages of 15 and 20.
Yeah, you were full of yourself when I knew you at 18.
Yeah.
You probably deserved a punch or 2 in the face.
Oh, yeah.
It all worked out.
Yeah, I earned them.
What's the worst punch you've seen live? Like a buddy of yours just getting wrecked? It's probably a sucker punch, I would imagine.
No, the worst I've ever seen was actually a buddy of mine laid it on a guy who he assaulted him. Like we were at a bar, we were standing around and for no reason.
Is statute of limitations passed here?
It was like
about to incriminate this guy?
No.
Okay.
No, and this kid hop, skip, jumped, and punched my buddy from out of nowhere right in the jaw from behind and tried to run away. And then it was just boom, bam. It was like Al Pacino in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Bing, bang. It was just 1-2, dropped, police everywhere. I'm a witness. We're talking through it.
You're giving a statement.
Yeah.
So you're just like, the guy came out of nowhere, attacked him for no reason.
I was like, that guy's a spider monkey. He just came out of nowhere, jacks up my buddy, and yeah, it was just good night. But yeah, Sean Dyche probably would have survived that punch combination.
Probably wouldn't have even gone down.
Probably would have beat the hell out of my buddy. All right, so knowing what we know about Spurs, we're desperate for a win. I think our best approach is just let the dogs out. Let's stop this. Let's stop the facade of thinking we're going to play this very strategic way, and we're going to be so crisp at the back line. We're not going to make mistakes. All we need is 2 goals. I want us to come out guns blazing in this match. How do you think we set up from a tactics perspective?
I think Spurs run a 4-2-3-1, evidenced by Ndombele and Højbjerg not playing today. Højbjerg just left off the bus. Hopefully that doesn't mean anything else more than just they didn't want to give Jose an opportunity to sub him in. So I have a back 4 of Reggie, Joe, Toby, and your boy the Sack, Jeffet Tanganga. I have Hoj and Domblay in the middle. And then in front of them, I have Sun on the left. I got Bale on the right. And in the middle, I got Lucas. And up top, I have Kane.
Why Lucas over Deli? Because I have Deli. The rest of the lineup is the exact same.
Because you were going to pick Deli, and it would be boring if I said the same thing.
For once, we could come to an agreement that we're both brilliant geniuses.
I won't let you
share
have
in
this.
the moment, and you could even enjoy a tangerine or two come Sunday afternoon.
See, I can eat tangerine. I'm going to start getting some tangies now.
You have to get tangies.
You haven't invited me in celebrating tangies yet. So
I told you last week. You're in on the tangies.
Okay. I didn't know that. I just thought that was your thing.
I thought it was water under the bridge by this point that we were all on Team Tangy.
Your celebration apples.
I mean, they could be our tangies.
Okay.
All right. Good.
I'm in on the tangy train, but no, I'm still going Lucas.
I'm not going Lucas here.
And Deli probably makes more sense here, but he played 81 minutes. You would think Spurs have the possession, so you want creativity up top. You don't want Lucas run with his head down.
What do you think about momentum, Shakes? You see this?
I think it's just rolling.
This is rolling down a hill. You notice how that is just getting faster and faster? Let the guy ride, dude. Let Deli ride. You don't have a match that good and then pull the rug out from underneath them. There's no reason why Deli shouldn't start this match, and then all of a sudden it turns into this weird situation where their back line and their midfield is able to just suck us down, spit us back out, and then we're playing on the counter. But for whatever reason, we concede a goal. It's 1-0, and maybe we score another and it's 1-1. Deli should be part of the assault on Sean Dyche. You need to target the man himself. You need to stare him dead in the eyes and hope you survive. But hopefully you've already punched one in at that point. That's what we need. Deli, for me, brings that over. He brings that level of focus to get all three of those frontline players in Son, Kane, and Bale in the mix in a more – it's like this – it's just a more tactical and just feel instinctual way than what Lucas does, which is bull in a china shop.
Look, you're leaving out the most crucial, important point, Bucks, with this lineup and why Deli won't start. And it's Jose does not want you to be happy.
It's true.
It's absolutely the only answer. I think you're right. I think you need Deli's creativity. I think he should be out there with Son, Bale, and Kane. I mean, if you're going to try, you might as well try it against lowly Burnley, with all due respect to Sean Dyche. Don't hit me. I'm sorry, Sean. I live in America. Don't come over here. But this would just make sense to play Deli here. You're going to have possession. You're going to have Højbjerg and Domblay behind you. You got Reggie off to the left. You got the sack down to the right. He can play back a little bit if you want to give yourself a little more center back help so that you're really running the top four guys forward. I just think it makes sense when you have Deli out there to be a creative person, to set up Son, to set up Kane, to set up Bale. I kind of want to see what it looks like. It's just Jose will not let us. And that's the answer.
No, he has to open the door.
It makes too much sense. Stop it.
Like, this is the professor that won't have office hours. Like, open the door. Listen to what your students have to say. We want Deli. We want Bale. We want Son. We want Kane. We want what we were talking about in August and September. That's what we want. Let's see it come together. Come together, Shakes. Right now. Over me. Over me. That's what I want to see. And I think it happens. But I want to talk about the back line. So you got Reggie, Joe, Toby, Tang. Here's why that's my back line. I've never seen it make a mistake.
Has it ever been together?
No, that is definitely
not right. We've never seen Tanganga with those two.
I'm going to wager on something that I've never seen fail. Never seen it succeed. Never seen it fail.
We've talked about that. That's the best thing Joe has going for him. No one sees Rodon play all the time to like make mistakes. And when he did make a couple crucial ones. But yeah, I have that too, Bucks. Although I'm not going to be surprised when Dave shows up and Deli doesn't play. Just preparing you for this.
Killing me, Shakes. I'm trying to end this on a real high vibe.
Deli could come in late. It's just then it'll be like 12 minutes, so he won't really get going or get into the flow of it. And it's going to really piss you off more. And then I already see this really spiraling.
I'm going into PTSD right now, just listening to you say these words. I'm trying to stoke positivity flames. You're out here trying to dampen it. You're like moist.
I'm the realist over here. I'm the pragmatic one.
No. You're like when
The
you have a
special
nice
one.
You have a
The
great
pragmatic one.
You got a campsite fire going on right now. It's been burning hot throughout the night, and it's getting late. It's real late. A small drizzle comes down and dampens the mood. But further than that, you put the flame out, Shakes.
No, I didn't.
You've put my flame out.
It's only flickered. It's flickering right now.
In other words, Spurs 3-1. We murdered Burnley. Sean Dyche can't even go to the pubs afterwards. Everything's going to melt down for him. Danny Shakes, what's your prediction? People are going to flame me for that 3-1 pick, by the way. Oh, boy. 3-1 Spurs. Who gets the goals?
Yeah, say you go 3-1 Spurs.
Who gets the goals? I got Kane with 2, and I got Bale with 1.
How many assists for Delhi?
4.
I got 2-1 Spurs. I'm calling a victory too, Bucks. Spurs get up 2-0. They put in Delhi and Dave. Things get a little hairy at the end, and they win 2-1. I'm just kidding, buddy. I'm just kidding.
Zach, after what Shakes just put me through, I have Linda. I already texted her. If you didn't notice me looking down there for a minute, I got Linda on the horn. Lined up a session for tomorrow. I'm going to need it.
You get to talk about this new guy in your life, Delhi, an old flame that's come back.
The old flame hit me with a U up. Hit me with a U up at about 12:10 p.m. Eastern time on a Wednesday.
Delhi sprays U ups all over the Twitter's text sphere, right? The DM.
No, I think
he's dating, right?
I think he's still. I'm not in the tabloid game like I used to be.
Yeah, I'm not part of that anymore.
I'm not. Well, you heard it here, folks. Thank you all for joining us on YouTube. If you're listening to our podcast, we also have a YouTube channel. We only have, like 40, 50 subscribers. If you're watching right now, pop that subscribe, hit the like button. Look, we're going to be coming at this after every single match, sometimes with a day delay. Danny Shakes is a busy guy, and I'm just sitting here waiting on him.
Depends on the Wi-Fi in my PJ.
It's true. The Wi-Fi in the private jet also factors in from time to time. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Follow us on Twitter at TTPodCoys. Spurs beat Burnley this weekend. Danny Shakes, sign the people off.
Let's go. Let's take down the Dyches, and come on, you Spurs.
Coys, get it done. Beat Sean Dyche. Beat Burnley. This is Talking Tottenham, a fantasyfocus.com production.